Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. This is Jeff with Fluent American, and we are here once more in the Schwa mill, trying to craft your accent, talk about things that can help you expand your American English pronunciation. Welcome, 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 guys. So again, we're going to be taking a look at pronunciation files that you send me and giving some suggestions to do things like look at your vowel sounds, intonation, stress, linking, placement, breath, and more as is relevant to your speech. Now, you may be wondering, how do you send in your own pronunciation files? So let me kind of just walk you through that process. Give me 1 second. I will share my screen with you, kind of see how it goes together. So the site that we use to help us out is a site called vocab.com. And if you go to vocab.com, when you first log in here, what you'll see is probably a big fat red record button. You press that record button, you click save. It's then going to give you this link. You can take this link, copy it, and in a document, in our Google Doc, which you can actually see again at the top of the chat, I've pinned it. You can also see it in the video description. To get to this Google Doc, you place this link over here. If you want us to know who you are, you could put your name. And then you can also put the sentence, and that way we know what you're saying. So in case we have any issues understanding and things like that, we can make sure we got you good. All right, so that's the whole process. Then we can listen to your file. I'll be able to hear you and give some suggestions for feedback. And that's kind of how everything works. If you guys have questions about anything there, be sure to let me know. Also, if you're here for the first time, be sure to say, hey. You don't have to, you can stay in the background if you'd like, though we love interacting with you. So it'd be great to talk with you a little bit, have a little bit of conversation, including with some people who are also lifers or people who've been here a very long time. First off, Emmanuel, good to see you, sir. Yes, Emmanuel, boss level. You can answer my poll. How many episodes of the Schwa Mill have you seen? The Emmanuel level, beast mode, 11 to 60 or more episodes of the Schwa Mill, because we've been doing this for some time now. Hello also to Shok checking in. And hello also to Zabeta checking in. And yes, you may have noticed we're starting a little bit earlier than usual. We're doing some traveling today, so we might have to do an abbreviated version of the show today. So my apologies. We're going to try to get through as many audio files as possible. But we may have to cut short a little bit. Hello also to Rumeza. Rumeza's made it back. That is great. Great to see you, miss. Hope you are doing well. Hello also to Maximiliano, our newest Brazilian friend. Great to see you as well. We miss you in the Telegram group, man. Send us some messages. Miss you. All right. Some quick little housekeeping things before we take a look at pronunciation files. I do have some. I have some big news, guys. So there's a very good chance that this is actually the last episode of the Schwa Mill on the channel. And I know that's probably catching you guys a little bit off guard. So let me kind of just explain. So it's last episode of Schwa Mill on this channel because we are creating a new channel dedicated just to the Schwa Mill. So that way we can just kind of focus on the live streams and sending feedback and things like that. So if that's something you are interested in, kind of staying in touch, I'll be posting things as well, just to remind people on this channel, the main Fluent American channel, that things are going to be live streams. So we'll still do the same show, just going to be under a different channel, just kind of keep things focused on the stream. And you can find that again here. We're also starting a new channel just for shadowing exercises. So if all you want is just shadowing and things like that, we're starting one at Fluent American Shadowing. All under the same Fluent American banner, but just dedicated spaces for each of those types of videos. So things to kind of just look out for starting in the new year. We'll be getting some content up on there. And so if you want to already subscribe to see when those videos come out, you are more than welcome to do so. Love that support. All right, trying to think, is there anything else housekeeping wise that we need to let you know? Emmanuel saying they almost had a heart attack for a second. Not trying to scare anyone, I promise. Just a new space to kind of keep things a little bit focused. We might also do like highlights and things on the main channel too. All right, I think that kind of covers though the main basics of everything. If you guys have some highlights or things that are new for you as we enter this festive holiday season, be sure to let me know. otherwise, then I think it is time for us to begin looking at your American English pronunciation. Oh, let me add myself there, right? Again, it's not little, it's more little.
The G host was class.
Are you feeling that here, or here? All right, you're gonna see I put on my headphones. That way I'll be able to hear you guys okay. And I'll also be sharing my screen so you guys can see what I see as well. And let's take a look at the files and things that people have sent us. Get right into some feedback. Right. I'm going to start from the back right here. First file.
So, but the hand was gone already. The doctor put him in the dark of ether.
Okay, here's the text for what we just heard. It's a poem written by Robert Frost. Shoko is going for the literary works, which we appreciate. Trying to stay educated.
So, but the hand was gone already. The doctor put him in the dark of ether.
I think one thing that I'm noticing here is that a lot of the you're using a lot of the same pitches, so there's not a whole lot of contrast. So it can take a couple listenings to make sure that we're hearing the words. You're pronouncing everything very clearly, but because there's not much pitch shifting, it's causing things to become a little bit more difficult to understand. So, for instance, if you said this or something like this in normal speech, the person you're talking to may ask you to repeat yourself. So to avoid that from happening, some quick suggestions here.
So, but the hand was gone already.
Hand was gone already. Do you hear, especially if like was gone already? So this is the part that it sounds like you want to reduce because it sounds like hand was your stress. So that means these other words are not stress. We want to make sure we're going kind of lower pitches on with also some linking and things. So instead of, but the hand was gone already, but the hand was gone already, but the hand was gone already. So notice there, what I did was after hand, everything just kind of starts this decline, this descent. So that way I can start, again, just making that stressed word stand out a little bit more. And the unstressed words can also stand out more too, in a way. It becomes easier to separate them so they don't all run together. So let's kind of, again, play that one more time, that little first part.
So, but the hand was gone already.
But the hand was gone already. So, but the hand was gone already. So, but the hand was gone already. So then just compare those pitches. Emmanuel does ask us, can we stress the word gone instead? And you could. You could say, but the hand was gone already. But the hand was gone already. So if you did that. So, but the hand was gone. But the hand was gone. The hand was gone already. Okay. Just a note there on the stresses. Let's take a look at the second half, see if a similar thing is happening.
But the hand was gone already. The doctor put him in the dark of ether.
The doctor put him in the dark of ether. Dark of ether. Again, I think we could have some clearer stresses.
The doctor put.
So it sounds like you're stressing doctor a lot. The doctor. The doctor
put him in the dark of ether.
In the dark of ether. The doctor put him in the dark of ether. The doctor put him in the dark of ether. So that could be one option. I don't even know if you need to stress doctor, though. You could just stress ether, the dark of ether. Doctor put him in the dark of ether. The doctor put him in the dark of ether.
The doctor put him in the dark of ether.
But the current way you're saying it, dark of ether, a little bit too similar between dark and ether. I would pick one to kind of be your primary stress. Besides those kind of stress things to take a look at, some other suggestions.
So, but the hand was gone already.
Let's see your hand.
So, but the hand was.
Hand. You know, there's many different ways you're going to hear that and sound pronounced. It could be slightly tenser and things like that. It's like hand, it's tenser in terms of your lips. Hand. It's a hand, more hand. But the hand, also a little bit more breath coming through.
But the hand was gone already.
Hand was gone. You could really reduce was a lot. Hand was.
But the hand was gone.
Because right now it's kind of getting a lot of weight. Hand was gone versus hand was gone. Hand was gone. You can also link that a little bit more too, right? Hand was gone. Hand was gone. It's a very weak D sound. Hello to Edward checking in, our resident British English expert.
Hand was gone already.
Let's go. Also, let's talk about intonation a little bit. Already. A little tense there on the E at the end. I would consider using more of a falling intonation instead of already, more already, kind of just falling there on the intonation.
The doctor put him in the dark of ether.
And again, you could also add a little bit more falling intonation on ether. The doctor put him in the dark of ether.
The doctor put him in the dark of ether. The doctor put him in the dark.
Put him in. Another thing too, opportunity for reduction. So you're kind of saying put him in. You could reduce put him. Like put a lot of times him when it's reduced as the pronoun just becomes like an sound. So instead put him, more put him in the dark. That's just a note there on the possible reduction. So again, I'm going to play that whole thing through, then play my own suggestions for that as well.
So, but the hand was gone already. The doctor put him in the dark of ether.
And I would have read that as so, but the hand was gone already. Or but the hand was gone already. The doctor put him in the dark of ether. The doctor put him in the dark of ether. Okay. That's just a note there. All right, Shok, thank you so much for sending that file. I do appreciate it. I need timestamps. We send the first one. Oh my gosh. Let's say maybe at like the 4-minute mark. Okay. We're about to start whatever our next one will be. Okay. Edward makes a note too. Can you post some lines from Stopping by the Woods, also by Robert Frost? I don't have those lines on me right now, but if someone else wants to post them, they're more than welcome to. We love poetry here. In fact, those books that you see on that wall are all poetry books. Okay. And Zobeda says, how long can we talk? In general, like a 5 to 10 second file, I think is reasonable. A little bit over is okay. If it ends up being a little longer than one sentence, that's okay. In general, I don't have time to look at 2 separate files in general. Good question. And timestamps. Yes. Try and get on those. And by the way, if you want to help out this stream a little bit, just some quick reminders. Like what you're hearing? Let us know by liking and subscribing. Also, I have a file I need to pull from Facebook that someone sent me, so I do need to remember that. Let's see what this file has for us right here.
So.
No. Surprise! Okay, let's try this one.
It was very cold and slippery outside when I drove around. I needed to keep my eyes peeled on the road, and if I didn't stay focused all the time, I could have crashed the car.
Okay. Speaking of longer sentences and things, take a listen to this one.
It was very cold and slippery outside when I drove around.
Oh, slippery outside. Let's hear that part again.
It was very cold and slippery outside when I drove around.
Just a real quick note about vowels. Watch out for that short I sound, slippery. I feel like I'm hearing slippery versus slippery.
Outside when I drove around. It was very cold and slippery outside.
Do it. Slippery versus slippery. Slippery.
Very cold and slippery outside.
Hear that difference? So watch out for that short I more. Slippery.
It was very cold and slippery outside when I...
Very cold and slippery outside. One thing is that again, in terms of pitch and stress. So right now there are some clearly stressed words: cold, slippery. But I think one thing that you want to think about, when you have a sentence, there's usually going to be, even if you have multiple stresses, there's usually like one word that's going to get like the heaviest stress, like noticeably most focused, stressed element. And when I listen to this,
it was very cold and slippery outside when I drove around.
I can't really assign that to everything because like cold, slippery are almost equal footing. Um, and even drove is kind of getting there as well. So I would really like one of these stressed words to kind of stand out. What I would recommend if it were me is I would probably put that weight on the slippery. It was very cold and slippery outside when I drove around. It's very cold and slippery outside. Like so something like that. A lot of times when you have two two a pair of words like blank and blank, this and this. A lot of times it's the second one that gets emphasis, the heavier one. Not always, but just kind of a common place for it. So that's kind of something I would recommend there. Cold and slippery outside. It's very cold and slippery outside. Other things there for that first part.
It was very cold and slippery outside when I drove around.
I don't know if I would stress anything when I drove around. I don't think you need to stress anything. It was very cold and slippery outside when I drove around. It's very cold and slippery outside when I drove around. Just a note there. I don't think you need to stress there. That would also allow you to kind of add more contrast because you're able to kind of go lower on some of your pitches. Just a note there. Edward does ask us, can we drop the schwa sound in around when I drove around? Like, do you want to say this that like drove around?
Cold and slippery outside when I drove around.
I would say in general in American English, you're going to keep that sound. At least in this situation when I drove, like I wouldn't say drove around. I would definitely have the sound there in this context of drive around, drove around. Maybe because it's almost like a phrasal verb.
Drove around.
Let's actually speaking of that. Let's listen to how you're saying around.
When I drove around.
Around, kind of getting a little closed off there as you finish with that end sound on around. It's like it kind of turns into like around versus like around when I drove around.
Outside when I drove around.
Drove around. So I would say if you can get from that owl sound to that N with a little bit more openness and a little bit more breath, because I think that would definitely help out a lot. Around when I drove around. It's just a note there.
Drove around. I needed to keep my eyes peeled on the road.
I need to keep my eyes peeled on the road. So again, it's very similar comments in terms of stress. No, there's no word that's kind of dominating for stress. All the stress words are almost equal.
I needed to keep my eyes peeled on the road.
I need to keep my eyes peeled on the road. Like I think needed could be a good place for a stress. Kind of add some emotion there. Okay. Let me see again.
I needed to keep my eyes peeled on the road.
Yeah, keep my eyes peeled on the road. Another place is maybe just do road. I need to keep my eyes peeled on the road. I need to keep my eyes peeled on the road. You can even stress both of those. But I would probably remove the stress on.
I needed to keep my eyes peeled on the road.
I would probably take it off of keep. I needed to keep my eyes peeled. No, I need to keep my eyes peeled on the road. Like I don't think you're as likely to get the stress on keep. I need to keep my eyes peeled. See if there's any other little things there in that little part.
I needed to keep my eyes peeled on the road.
I like how you said needed.
I needed to.
Needed. Good. That can be a tricky sound there. That short.
I needed to keep my eyes peeled on the road.
Peeled on the.
Eyes peeled on the road.
Peeled on the road. I like that little sequence there. Peeled on the road. That's a nice little reduction, nice linking. Very, very natural sounding there. I like it. How about the last part?
And if I didn't stay focused all the time.
2 words here I want to focus on pronunciation-wise.
I could have crashed the car.
Let me see again.
Focused all the time.
The words are.
Eyes peeled on the road. And if I didn't stay focused all the
And if I didn't, you can kind of hear again, we're getting into that E territory instead of I territory. It's like it said didn't or didn't, short I sound. If I didn't.
On the road. And if I didn't stay focused all the time.
Focused versus focused. Focused. Again, actually another short I sound. Focused. That second syllable, usually short I. So kissed or kissed. Focused. Notice also how reduced it is. And this is really true for, multi-syllable words. Your stressed syllable, you want to give a lot of weight to, but the unstressed syllables, you really want to try to weaken, almost like you're whispering them, and you want to, in general, have them at a lower pitch, like focus. See how fast and how weak that is sound is? Focused. Okay. So just a note there. I need to keep my eyes appealed on the road, and if I didn't stay focused all the time. Focus is also probably a good place for stress. And if I didn't stay focused all the time,
around. I needed to keep my eyes peeled on the road. And if I didn't stay focused all the time,
if I didn't stay focused all the time is probably not going to get stressed. So I would take off the stress on time. And if I didn't stay focused all the time,
on the road. And if I didn't stay focused all the time,
you can even weaken that th sound on all the. Like you could try saying like all the time. Notice I'm not really pronouncing the th there. That's my secret. It's just going all the time. It's like all the time, because the is reduced. It's not it's not receiving emphasis. You do it fast, has a lower pitch. Just doing the vowel sound you can get away with. There's nothing wrong though if that scares you. You can't keep the th. You could say all the time, but it's going to be much easier to say if you take off that th. This all the time.
focused all the time, I could have crashed the car.
Could have crashed the car. I would have gone heavy on car. Could have crashed the car. And if I didn't stay focused all the time, I could have crashed the car. I mean, if I didn't stay focused all the time, I could have crashed the car. Here, what I'm also doing with pitch there, I'm kind of going higher and things, So my stress words, I'm going hardcore stress on, and really going higher on those pitches just to kind of convey more emotion and things. I see there was also some questions there. Emmanuel asks us,
Question.
can you drop the it? Where's the it? Everyone wants to drop things. Everyone's trying to take off. Oh, at the very beginning? Thank you. I see we're talking about that. Doing this like twas. Twas sounds very kind of like old fashioned and things like that. Not super frequent. It was very cold. I wouldn't drop the it. You can do like a held T, like it was, but I do think you kind of need that schwa sound. I mean, not short I. You really need that short I sound to start it. It was very cold. It was very cold. That's how I would reduce that personally. All right, so talked a lot about stress and some pronunciation, some vowel things, even some linking to a degree. Zobeda, I do see your question. I'll be there in a moment, but let's kind of just play this again.
It was very cold and slippery outside when I drove around.
It was very cold and slippery outside when I drove around.
I needed to keep my eyes peeled on the road.
I need to keep my eyes peeled on the road.
And if I didn't stay focused all the time,
and if I didn't stay focused all the time,
I could have crashed the car.
I could have dropped the car. I could have dropped the car. I could have crashed the car. I could have dropped the car. Trying to carry cars down the street. Need the focus. The car's heavy.
Peeled on the road. And if I didn't stay focused all the time, I could have crashed the car.
If I didn't stay focused all the time, I could have crashed the car. That's again how I would have read that. Thank you very much to Sycamore for sending that file. We do appreciate you, sir. Some quick questions.
Question.
Zobeda says, Jeff, I need a short review on word stress. Content words are stressed and others mashed up, right? So by others, your function words like articles, prepositions, pronouns usually are not stressed. It's if I'm going by like a textbook definition of word stress, then yeah, content words are stressed. What are your content words? Your content words are like your nouns, verbs, adjectives. This is good information. Content words, nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs. Basically, your words that convey the most meaning in a sentence. Okay. The words that are not stressed tend to be your function words. Your function words are like your pronouns, articles, prepositions, things that don't really convey a whole lot of meaning on their own, but that kind of just syntactically complete your sentence. Typically, those do not get stressed. But again, the key word is typically because anything in theory could be stressed. Like, oh, I left the bags in the car. There I stressed car, right? Left the bags in the car. But left the bags in the car, not on the car, in the car. So in that case, I might stress the preposition, right? So context is always the thing that determines the stress more than whether it's a content word or a function word. But hopefully that kind of gives you a quick idea of that. All right, thanks for sending that. All right, so we got Sycamore done. Cool. Trying to move through these. And also, just some quick reminders about things, guys. I have some very exciting news. It is still Friendsgiving. So that means that if you join our Mission in English program and you bring a friend with you, each of you are going to get a free one-on-one class with me. Okay, free 30-minute class with me. So come to Mission English, bring a friend. You might be like, well, what is Mission English? Well, Mission English it's our private Facebook group where we do live streams Monday through Friday for 30 minutes. And basically you join me on screen. So for instance, it's like I'm right here. Gotta stay centered in the camera. And you're right there. And we're talking. And we do pronunciation exercises together. We do pitch exercises. We do things like we can watch movies together and things that I can't do on YouTube. We can do in class. So that's kind of what Mission English is about. And to kind of just give you an idea of what it looks like, let's just take a quick little preview. Just a heads up, sometimes the audio comes in hot on this. So you might need to lower your headphones just a little bit, your volume. But let's take a quick look.
Ooh, ooh. Notice that for me, I'm not really having that ooh, ooh. And it doesn't sound exactly the same, like ooh and ooh, but they're close enough that for the speech that you're doing in daily life, it'll be okay. Really nice day.
Really nice day.
So what I'm hearing, so I heard really nice day. So what happened was you put day at a lower pitch. Really nice day.
Just loose.
Okay. I would say, I thought for the most part it sounded pretty good. I think there were a couple words that we do want to watch out for a little bit. Hey.
Hey.
Yeah, there you go. That last one's great.
So it'd be great to work with you guys in person in a class. I would certainly look forward to it. We have so much fun. It's like learning in just a much friendlier kind of context. And one of the advantages of group classes that, versus like an individual class, I think individual classes are fine. I think they're helpful. But I think in a group class, you can actually build your awareness of the differences in pronunciation, because in a group class, you can hear other people talking and you hear my feedback for it. And a lot of times that feedback, I don't care if you're from China, if you're from Brazil, if you're from, Ukraine, wherever you're from. Yeah, our accents and pronunciation systems are different, but a lot of times the feedback is very similar in terms of, oh, we need to get the placement a little lower. Oh, we're not allowing enough breath through. Oh, we need to maybe raise our tongue, or usually just actually lower our tongue more, open our jaw. And so you actually hear other people, and then you can then start kind of internalizing that feedback for yourself. And that's a lot harder in a one-on-one context, because in one-on-one, what tends to happen, Manuel's a member, he loves it as much as I do, which is great. When you have a one-on-one class, you don't really know what you're saying until you listen to the recording. Usually I make recordings of us when we do one-on-one classes. But then the problem is still that a lot of students don't actually listen to the recordings. And, class is great, but the study you do outside of class is way more important. So if you don't have time to listen to the recordings, then like Mission English is perfect, because you hear the feedback and you hear the difference it makes more than in a one-on-one context. So I really can't recommend it enough. There's some also very exciting news starting in January, the 3rd or the 4th. I need to finalize that. But starting in January, we're expanding our times. So if before you wanted to join, but the schedule didn't quite work out, well, now there's going to be so many more opportunities. And if you join Mission English, you can come to every single one of these classes if they work with your time zone. But basically, for each one of these times, it meets 3 times a week. So for instance, these are all based on New York. So 1:30 p.m., maybe that's a good time for you. Well, we're going to meet that time on Monday. We're going to meet that time on Tuesday. We're going to meet at that time on Friday. But maybe 8 o'clock p.m. New York is better for you. Okay, well, we'll do that on Monday. We'll do that on Wednesday. We'll do that on Thursday. So each of these times we're meeting at least 3 times, and maybe multiple times work for you. So maybe the 1:30 works for you and the 8 o'clock works for you. Okay, come to both. Do it. Have more fun. All the lessons are also saved in the Facebook group as well. So there's already like 60, 70, 80 classes on there that you can take a look at and things. So just some things I hope you guys take advantage of. And Emmanuel notes, yeah, speaking of those replays, the real learning is there because you hear it again and you hear yourself, but you also hear other people again once more. And you can practice as often as you want. So just some things to keep in mind. Elchin says, how are you, Jeff? How's your week been? My week's been good. We're about to do some traveling. That's why we're kind of switched up our times. But I hope your week is going well. Let us know, guys, if you're preparing for holidays. What's happening for your holiday season? You staying at home? You visiting family? How far are you traveling? We're going to California to visit some friends, and then we're bouncing back to the East Coast. So going like flying 4 hours west and then flying like 4 or 5 hours back east. Oh my gosh. It's going to be great. Flying for 4 hours with a 4-year-old. What could be better than that? I'm joking. My son's great, but that is a very long time. But love to know what your guys' holidays plans are. By the way, guys, also let me know how many episodes of the Schwa Mill have you guys seen? Just keeping tabs on our votes right now. Oh my gosh, leading the way is the Emmanuel level. People who have been to 11 or more episodes of the Schwa Mill. Great to see you guys. If you're here for the first time, someone is here for the first time. Who are you? Let me know. Okay. Also, if you're a lurker, you've been to the show before, but you've never said hello, this is the time to do it. Then I will let you go back to your cave. But say hi. Just want to know if you're here. All right, take a look at a couple more files. What do you guys say? Okay. Let's see, too. Zobeda says, our holiday is chanting in the streets for 3 days. Appreciate that, Zobeda. Stay safe. As safe as we can. Oh, I need to share my screen and audio. Oh my gosh. But next up is going to be Emmanuel, so that's exciting. Emmanuel, get ready. We're at the 31-minute mark. Emmanuel also says that they're spending 3 hours Christmas shopping. Not jealous. Not jealous at all. Let's share things again, shall we? All right, let's take a look at this.
Oh God, I barely made it through episode 1. It's like dumb dialogues, lazy writing, mediocre acting to say the least. No direction, no vision, and there's no story. Like literally, there's no story to follow. Just characters here and there.
Okay. Overall, pretty good. Some things will kind of break it smaller parts.
Oh God, I barely made it through episode 1.
Okay, let's do that again.
Oh God.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Yeah, I think that's fine. You have opportunities to either go higher or even lower on God if you wanted. Just a note, but the way you said it was fine too.
Oh God, I barely made it through episode 1.
I would like to hear that sound linking with the N on 1. Okay. Yeah, in fact, this is a text. Well, what we had done in the last mission English class, is we're looking at movie reviews, horrible movie reviews, because they're very passionate. The language is much more emotional. So great opportunities to kind of play around with. Edward says, by the way, since Christmas is near, can you post a few lines from Nightmare Before Christmas, please? I personally don't have time right now. If someone else wants to post them really quick, I'll be happy to take a quick look. I'm trying to get through as many files as I can here before I have to head out.
Oh God, I barely made it through episode 1.
So I barely made it through episode 1. I probably actually would have stressed episode 1. I barely made it through episode 1. Like, oh God, I barely made it through episode 1. I think you could still keep the stress on barely too, but I would also consider 1. Episode 1. I barely made it through episode 1. Because that kind of makes it sound like you couldn't even get past the first episode. I barely made it through episode 1.
They made it through episode 1.
But regardless, on 1, watch out for that sound linking with the N. It's like one. I would definitely practice that progression and make sure your schwa sound stays the same. It's like one, one. Just a one more. One. Try and keep a lot more breath coming through because it does sound like your N is kind of closing things off a little bit.
I barely made it through episode 1. It's like dumb dialogues.
It's like dumb dialogues. So maybe you're stressing adjectives.
It's like dumb dialogues, lazy writing, mediocre acting.
It's like dumb dialogues. It's like dumb dialogues.
Lazy writing. Barely made it through episode 1. It's like dumb dialogues.
Dumb dialogues. I would have gone higher on dumb. I would stress, if you can stress dumb, I think that's fine. I would also consider stressing dialogues as well. I would probably stress both. It's like dumb dialogues.
It's like dumb dialogues.
It's like dumb dialogues. It's like dumb dialogues. Like, you can use a falling intonation there too. That's fine. But I would just add some stress onto dialogues as well, personally.
Lazy writing, mediocre acting, to say the least.
Mediocre acting, to say the least. Mediocre acting, to say the least. So you're also stressing least.
Mediocre acting, to say the least.
to say the least. To say the least. Mediocre acting, to say the least. To say the least. Something there just sounds a little off to me, but I'm not sure why.
Dialogues, lazy writing, mediocre acting, to say the least.
Mediocre acting, to say the least. Mediocre acting, to say the least. To say the least, to say the least. I'd maybe consider falling intonation. Kind of makes it sound a little sharper. To say the least. Mediocre acting, to say the least.
Mediocre acting, to say the least. No direction, no vision, and there's no story. Like,
And there's no story, yeah.
literally, there's no story to follow.
Okay, two things there on that ending part.
No direction, no vision, and there's no story.
Good, I'm okay with that. Sounds good.
Like, literally,
Take off literally dark L in that last ly sound. It said literally, more literally, I would really recommend dark L. It said literally. Hear that?
no vision, and there's no story. Like, literally, there's
Literally, because what it's doing is it's causing you to also kind of reduce your E. It's like literally versus literally. Yeah, so I would use dark L and watch out for that final E sound. Let's make sure it's not E, it's more E.
no story to follow.
Same thing there on follow. Follow versus follow.
Story to follow. Just
Follow. So I would keep more open. Don't close your mouth too much and around your lips too much on that ending on follow. Remember, diphthongs in American English tend to be treated more like one sound than as like two. So it's a O more just O. Keep that placement low.
characters here and there.
Just characters here and there. How about that last part there?
Oh, just characters here and there.
Just characters here and there. There's literally no story to follow. Just characters here and there. I'd probably stress characters. I wouldn't stress there. Just characters here and there. Just characters here and there. Yeah, there's probably not going to get stressed.
There's no story to follow. Just characters here and there.
Just characters here and there. Like just characters here and there. Just characters here and there. That's probably how I would read that part. Zubayda's asking the important questions. Where am I going? We're going to California to visit some friends in San Diego. A little warmer there. It's probably like 15, 20 degrees versus here it's been like 0 degrees. 20 degrees might be a little too hot. Probably close to 15. And then we're going back and flying to Georgia, which is on the east coast of the United States, and getting into the south of the United States. So also another place that's a little warmer than here. Lots of travel. All right, so I'm going to play this whole little sequence, then shadow it with myself and say how I would do it.
Oh, God. I barely made it through episode 1.
Oh, God. I barely made it through episode 1.
It's like dumb dialogues, lazy writing.
It's like dumb dialogues, lazy writing.
Mediocre acting, to say the least. No direction, no vision, and there's no story.
No direction, no vision, there's no story.
Like, literally, there's no story to follow.
Like, literally, there's no story to follow.
Just characters here and there.
Just characters here and there. So that's how I would shadow that personally myself. Man, if you have any questions for me about anything there, be sure to let me know. Overall, pretty good. I don't think anything sounds mushy, so I think you do a good job with like pitches and things like that. Just kind of pay attention to the words I would have stressed and things. I might be able to foreshadowing. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's just a lot of traveling. I'm like a home. I don't need to travel a whole lot. I know a lot of people who do like ESL, like teaching English, usually like go abroad and stuff like that, and that's just not. I'm fine with just being at home, doing me. Take a listen to the next file. Mayo says, great stuff. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Also, a quick reminder, if you're checking us out, if you want to help the stream reach more people, just a reminder. Like what you're hearing? Let us know by liking and subscribing. All right, let's see what we got here.
I really don't understand people saying they can't stop smoking. I mean, all you gotta have is willpower. This is what my brother tells me over and over again. And to be honest, I do agree with him.
Okay. Let's take a look and see. Who are my smokers in the house, by the way? Speaking of smoking, anyone here smoke? Got some smokers in here? Let's see what we got in this file.
I really don't understand people saying they can't stop smoking.
That part with can't stop smoking, I really like that. Sounds really good.
Saying they can't stop smoking.
Really good. Nice breath. Vowel sounds standing out. Really like that. Like the pauses. This is something actually we talked about in Mission English recently. Is we were talking about pauses. A lot of people who learned English are afraid of pausing. They're afraid of it because they're like, oh, it's gonna make me sound less natural. No. It's gonna make it sound more natural. People pause all the time. An effective pause is a super helpful rhetorical skill. So definitely recommend practicing pausing. I think that the way it's used here is great for extra emphasis.
Saying they can't stop smoking.
Can't stop smoking. You can just imagine to zoom in each time. Really good for public speaking too. This sounds like you're on a stage almost. You can't stop smoking.
Stop smoking.
Manuel says the construction workers near his workplace are still smoking. Manuel has a hole in his wall at work, and the cigarette smoke comes through.
I really don't understand people.
Don't stress people there. That sounded really unnatural. I really don't understand people. Another thing you're doing there is you're also people, but that's not how it's said, right? It's more people. So I really don't understand people. People's not going to get stressed. I can say probably 99% of the time, if not higher.
I really don't understand people saying they can't stop smoking.
I really don't understand people saying they can't stop smoking. Something like that I think would be super effective. But don't stress people. And also pay attention to that dark L. By the way, I have a video coming out tomorrow. All chance for you, man. Talking about dark L sounds linking with the letter D. So get excited about that.
Saying they can't stop smoking.
We're like that can't.
I mean, all you gotta have is willpower.
Weaken power. Power is a little too strong. I like everything else about that, but power is a little too heavy.
Can't stop smoking. I mean,
good. Good kind of filler words.
all you gotta have is willpower.
Dude, willpower, because what's happening is you're making power to stress, but this is a compound noun. You want to stress will. Is willpower. All you gotta have is willpower.
You gotta have is willpower.
Is willpower. All you gotta have is willpower. That I think would have been a little bit more effective for stress.
You gotta have is willpower.
Yeah, so weaken power.
This is what my brother tells me over and over again.
I want to hear that over and over. Over and over. Don't stress again. Most likely the stress is probably going to be over and over again. Probably the second over would be more frequent. I would put that into Youglish to see how, I would put over and over again into Youglish and kind of just see what the how native speakers are doing that. My guess is the stress is almost always going to be on the second over.
Tells me over and over again.
Oh, I want to hear the over again.
Tells me over and over again.
Yeah, over and over again. Yeah, the stress second over.
I mean, all you gotta have.
Let's hear all.
Stop smoking. I mean, all you gotta have.
All you gotta have. I'd also practice it. All you gotta have. All you gotta. I do think you get slightly more open on that dark L sound on all you as well.
Is willpower. This is what my brother tells.
Brother.
Power. This is what my brother. This is what my brother tells.
Brother. This is what my brother. I think the way you say brother is fine. You could weaken that th. Hear how I don't want to say heavy, but it is noticeable.
This is what my brother.
Brother versus brother. I would say I would start experimenting with some more reduced th sounds. I think you'll like them. Again, there's nothing wrong here. Super clear. I think it still sounds natural. I don't have an issue with it, but I would just say, just for experimentation focus, just kind of weakening ths more. So instead of brother, more brother.
Power. This is what my brother.
Brother versus brother. Do you hear that difference? My th is just a little way more reduced. Another way you can kind of check yourself, say brother 3 times, like brother. If you're saying brother, that's a sign your th is a little heavy.
Tells me over and over again. And to be honest, I do agree with him.
I do agree. I do agree with him. I do agree with him. A lot of times, not always, but a lot of times when you see do added to a sentence as an auxiliary, then it receives emphasis because that's the whole point of putting the do there. Like, I do agree. I do agree. And to be honest, I do agree with him. Okay. It doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes the stress does fall in the base verb after. Okay. So I don't want you to just be like, oh, 100% of the time, I'm just going to stress do. Doesn't work that way. But I do think it's a lot more frequent if you're going to even say do in the first place.
And to be honest, I do agree with him.
Let me hear again.
And to be honest, I do agree with him.
I do agree with you're with him's a little heavy.
Again. And to be honest, I do agree with him.
Do agree with him. Do agree with him. Compared to some of the other parts of this sentence, this isn't as smooth. You could reduce this more. Agree with him. Agree with him. Agree with him. You can weaken the with, and even reduce the him to just like A lot of times, again, pronouns with H's. A lot of times the H's disappear. Agree with him. Agree with him. And to be honest, I do agree with him. Or to be honest, I do agree with him. Or to be honest, I do agree with him. But just kind of compare that mine to yours there.
And to be honest, I do agree with him.
With him, your H is really strong on him versus with him. Okay, very, very common reduction there. All right, let me know if anything there isn't clear, but lots of great stuff. I'm play some small parts and then kind of shadow. Oh, Elshin also asked about placement. Let's see placement wise.
I really don't understand people.
Let's hear understand again.
I really don't understand.
Under your sound has kind of a high placement there. You can kind of hear under.
Don't understand.
Understand versus understand. So you're kind of going a little high on there. That R.
I don't understand people.
People versus people going a little high on all.
Saying they can't stop smoking.
Good there.
I mean, all you gotta have.
All we talked about a little high. All versus all.
Have is willpower. This is what my brother tells me over.
Maybe a little high placement on the brother.
Over and over again.
Maybe a little high on the V. Like I would make a V sound just like and check and feel where you feel the vibration. If you feel it up here, like that's not your placement's high. Versus if you hear like yeah, you're still going to feel like some movement in your lips, but the sound is really coming from lower spot. Compare and so you want to feel that lower one.
And to be honest, I do agree with him.
Maybe a little tense and higher on do. Like I would say ooh do, ooh do, ooh do. And if you find you're doing ooh do, that's a sign that your placement's kind of rising on that ooh sound there. All right, we'll kind of shout out that part. I hope that answers your placement question.
I really don't understand people.
Like I really don't understand people
saying they can't stop smoking.
Saying they can't stop smoking.
I mean, all you gotta have is willpower.
All you gotta have is willpower. Willpower.
This is what my brother tells me over and over again.
This is what my brother tells me over and over again.
And to be honest, I do agree with him.
Okay. I should also ask about breath. Yeah, I would say the places where identified also for higher placements are also places where there's less breath coming out. So I think both these things are kind of connected. The times in general where you're limiting your breath are also the times where your placement tends to be higher. Comes just a note there. I should have some other questions. Be sure to let me know. Hopefully that helps. Thanks for sending the file. I appreciate it. Some quick questions I want to address. Some quick things here. Zobeda says, I like the diphthong thing we said. I know it should sound like one word. Yeah, in general with diphthongs, again, instead of treating them as two separate parts, American English really just treats them as one sound. With some slight movement. If you watch some teacher videos, other teachers may exaggerate it more, but my personal suggestion is to weaken, especially the second sound. So it really almost becomes one. Edward saying the kind words. Oh, Edward, I told myself I wouldn't cry today. Oh, yours by far the funniest, most entertaining way to teach English I've come across in my life. Edward. Oh, shucks. Am I blushing? I feel like I'm blushing. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Manual noted about the construction workers smoking. So Beta asks, how would you stop smoking? Is that to Elchin's brother, or to me? If it were me and I was trying to get someone to stop smoking, quick digression. So there's a concept called state-dependent learning. So like the condition you're in when you learn something is it becomes easier to remember that thing when you're in the same state. So for instance, I'm not much of a drinker, but for instance, if someone is drunk and they learn something new, there's a chance that when they get sober, they might actually forget parts of it. But then when they get drunk again, they might actually remember it again. So, or for instance, in a classroom, let's say that you always sit in the same seat in class. And then on a test day, you change your seat. Well, in some ways, that's kind of a disadvantage to you because, you learned it in a certain position. You learned it in that one seat that you've always been in. So then when you change it, then it's, you're mixing things up. So, you're changing the state. So state dependent, I think one of the issues with smoking and addictions in general is that, you see this all the time. Like people who are addicted to a substance, maybe they'll go to rehab in another country or in another state and they get better, but then they go back home and then they relapse. They run back into the same issues. You know what I mean? Because you're back in the same state, the same conditions. So, if you were serious about stopping smoking, probably one of the easiest ways, if that was your only goal, just to stop smoking, probably one of the easier ways to do that would be to go somewhere new you've never been before and just never smoke and just kind of get into the habit there. And also stay away from people that who smoke. But that's obviously a very difficult thing to do. That ends my TED Talk. Emmanuel asked the question, what's more common, stop smoking or quit smoking? Quit. You'll hear stop. Oh, I stopped smoking like 5 years ago. I stopped smoking 10 years ago. I think you'll hear both. I think either's fine. Other things. Elchin does not smoke. Oh, Elchin's brother. So I just gave advice that was unsolicited. My apologies. Emmanuel was a smoker, though, and he gives some suggestions here. To me, electronic cigarettes help me quit, but different stuff works for different people. Facts. A lot of people, it's like kind of like a social thing. So if you can lose the social aspect. Or for some people, they only smoke when they drink. Things like that. Other things that I missed. I could tell if people don't smoke, talk about. Sounds like a lot of different aspects. People like doing like almost like fat shaming, or people like weight loss and stuff like that too. I could see that happening. Okay, moving on. Couple files have come in. I'm going to try to be able to squeeze in things. Okay. Edward gave up smoking. How did that work out for you? How'd you do it? What's your secret? Trying to reveal secrets here. What's our next file? And I do have to remember there's one file online I need to find. Trying to get through as many as I can, guys. Going to head out soon. See what we got. I'm not familiar with this one. Should really indicate. Wrinkles should really indicate. I'm getting a little jumping on the middle part. Where these miles have been? Oh, I'm not sharing audio? Okay. Sorry, my mistake. Thank you for the reminder. Thank you. Thank you, Emmanuel. I'm sorry about that. Timestamp this. We were at 54:29. Malden Company. Okay.
Wrinkles
should really indicate
where these miles have been.
Where these miles have been. this is what I'm hearing. I missed some words. Wrinkles should really indicate what I'm hearing. This is the part where I'm not entirely sure about where these miles have been. And this is why it's always helpful to kind of have text if you're able to type it, just to make sure I'm getting what was originally said. Let's hear again.
Wrinkles should really indicate where these miles have been.
Okay, so I'm going to assume that this is what was said. I'm a little bit unsure about the where these. A little bit unsure about this where these. It might have been where this mile, but I'm guessing it's where these. Oh, Edward says, "Oh, they have not smoked, never smoked." Oh, they're giving me another suggestion. Gave up smoking. Yeah, I gave up smoking. Quit smoking. Stop smoking. I feel like out of those three options, gave up is the least common, but it's possible. Gave up almost has more of like during Lent, like it's part of the religious season around Easter. Like people give up. Oh, like I gave up chocolate, so I don't eat chocolate for these 40 days or something. But not wrong. Okay, going on this again.
Wrinkles.
Watch out for that short I sound. I feel like I'm hearing ring versus wrinkles, 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 wrinkles. So it's the difference between een and n. Een, in, reen, ren, wrinkles.
Should really indicate.
Really indicate. Again, these e sounds just kind of dominating, like really indicate versus really indicate. So it's like eh, e, eh, eh, e, eh. That's the power we want. Instead of eh, e, it's eh, e, eh. Really indicate.
Wrinkles should really indicate where these miles have been.
And then if it is where these miles have been, then watch out for these, because you need a stronger e sound. So where there's more where these miles have been. And again, this is another opportunity to reduce that th. You could just see where these. Then my tongue isn't touching my top tooth or my bottom tooth. It's actually down. Where these miles have been.
Wrinkles should really indicate where these miles have been.
Yeah. Those are probably going to be my major comments. I like what miles have been. I like that part a lot.
Miles have been.
Lots of breath coming through. I like that short I sound on been. Especially compared to some of those other N sounds. This is the one that's probably the clearest. Just a note there.
Wrinkles should really indicate where these miles have been.
Wrinkles should really indicate where these miles have been. You could play around with the stress there too. Notice that I stress more really than on indicate. Just a note. Okay. But yeah, short phrase. Short feedback, Marcos. If there's any questions you have, be sure to let me know. But those are kind of be my major points there. Okay. Big thing is going to be short I sounds versus E sounds still a little bit. Okay. Some quick things here. What we got. Elgin asks, question. Jeff, is it hard for a non-native English teacher to teach in the U.S. and do you think it's possible at all without a university degree? Okay, so these are kind of two different questions. Is it hard for a non-native English teacher to teach in the U.S.? Not necessarily. I mean, when I was the academic director at a center, I hired several non-native English teachers. And there's a lot of advantages to it. I think it's great. It's a great role model for the students to kind of see what they can do with their English and things like that. Someone who shares in their experiences. Non-native English speakers bring a lot of, or non-native teachers of any language bring insights that native speakers aren't always mindful of. So I think yeah, it's certainly possible. Do you think it's possible to do it at all without a university degree? Well, now, there's minimum job requirements, and I think that, can you get a job? Kind of like just like tutoring or things like that without a degree? Yeah, sure, why not? But if you're trying to get like a stable like corporate teaching job or like at like a school or things like that, yeah, that's gonna be very difficult without a degree. It's gonna be hard to get any job like that without a degree. Maybe in the future these things will shift, but where we're at right now, you kind of need at least a bachelor's degree. Maybe an associate's degree would be enough. Maybe. You could also try, if you're not able to get a degree, you could try doing something like a TEFL certificate or a CELTA. But TEFL's cheaper. CELTA is not cheap. and you're still paying several $1,000s, and you also need like 4 weeks of just training. But I mean, it's CELTA. I mean, I wish. So I have my master's in teaching English as a second language, but I would love to get a CELTA at some point too. They just do such a great. That whole training process is great. My guess is you're probably going to need some sort of certificate. And you're saying, like in an academy. I mean, even at an academy, you're probably going to need some sort of qualifications. Honestly, you're making it harder for yourself to get a position without a degree or certificate. Not going to say it's impossible, but definitely more difficult. Hello to Raider checking in. I enjoy our talks and comments in different videos, Raider. So keep doing it. Great to see you here. Glad you can make the stream. Things here. What's the difference between give up and give up on? To give up means like to stop doing something, whether because you're just tired or you're afraid of it or something. Like, oh, I give up. I'm not going to try anymore. Versus give up on means that you no longer have faith in someone else, that someone else can do something. Like, oh, I gave up on passing the test. But you can also with people, like I gave up on him. I gave up on a person. I gave up on him. I'm no longer working with him towards his goal, to help him meet his goal. I gave up on him. So kind of similar, but slightly different. That's a very quick definition. If anything there isn't clear, let me know, and I can try to give some more examples. Raider says they enjoy our conversations. It's great. Ocean has planning on getting the course by Arizona State. Yeah, Arizona has some pretty well-known ESL programs for teaching. TESOL. A lot of publications come out of there. Okay, moving forward. I'm looking through the files. Oh, I do have to dig up. Let me dig up a file sent me on Facebook. And I think 15 minutes try to plow through a bunch of files. But I'm gonna try. Ciao, Forza. Yeah. Give me one moment just to load up this file. I appreciate your patience, everybody. It's from Junji. Junji, if you're watching, say hey. Got your file. Okay, that one's gotten. Allow me to share my screen with you. By the way, guys, if you're a lurker, who are my lurkers here? Who is here but never says anything? Show yourselves. I know you're there. I know you are there. Elchin says, thanks for answering the question. Thanks for asking the question, Elchin. Thank you for asking. Bam. Love when people ask questions. Oh, we got kind of a long, and right as I say, I'm going to try to go through faster. We got kind of a long file. Okay, so I'm just going to do some like rapid reactions. And when you hear it, pause it, get some thoughts, things like that before moving on. Probably a little long to add text to this, so we'll kind of just have to listen together. Okay. And again, what's our time on this? Our time is 1:03. You guys have been with me for an hour. I'm through. Okay. And what was the name of the other English test? CELTA. It's not a test. It's a certificate program. It's called CELTA. It's like it's just good. Like you just want to learn how to be a good teacher, even if you teach like math or anything like that. Like such a great. The teaching techniques they use are so super effective. Hello also to Yusuf, jumping over from Facebook. Great to see you. Great to see you. There might be time to send a pronunciation file if you're fast. If you look at the pinned comment, there's some instructions there, but you're gonna have to be very, very fast. Otherwise, we can try to get your audio next time. But even if you don't send files, I think you're going to get some very helpful feedback. Just kind of listening to other people and some thoughts. Okay. You're welcome to Edward. All right, let's take a listen to this.
I love this nice weather.
Like, I love this nice weather. I love this. So one thing I'm immediately noticing, your placement is super, super high. You're kind of like top of throat, back of mouth. Like, I love this versus I love this. And one thing you can try doing is like take the phrase like I love this Take it from wherever sounds natural to you. So if it's like, I love this, then try to take it down 5 times. Like, I love this, I love this, I love this, I love this, I love this. Just kind of send it down 5 times. Kind of feel that difference. Try to practice lowering the placement a little bit. Raider asks, do we have to be a patron to submit audio files? You do not. They are free. We take donations by super chat and things like that, but it's not necessary to do that. Okay. Patron, by the way, is spelled Patron. Oh, God, I just misspelled it. Oh, God. Here's spelling advice. Wrong. Oh, God. Sorry about that, guys. All right, next one. Listen again. So, again, placement's a little high.
I love this nice weather.
I do like weather. Out of all those words, weather is probably the strongest word there. It has a lot of air coming through, and I think it has the lowest placement.
Even at Christmas time here.
Even at Christmas time. So again, just a little high and tight. Also on Christmas, just a note.
Christmas time.
Christmas, you're kind of using like a schwa sound. Christmas. But a lot of times Christmas ends on a short I sound somewhere. Miss, Christmas, even at Christmas time.
Even at Christmas time here in Orlando is
Orlando. I'm guessing you're saying Orlando in Florida. You can tell me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry. But if it is Orlando, you want that L sound. So like Orland. As you switch from that R to that L, the dark L, Orland, what you may find is that your tongue goes horizontal. So like the sides of your tongue touch your top teeth. It's like, my tongue's kind of compact. But then Orland, now I'm almost like biting the sides of my tongue. Orlando. Let's just note there.
Christmas time here in Orlando is around 75.
There's around 75. You could go a little higher pitch on 5.
Orlando is around 75.
There's around 75. That's fine. That pitch is okay.
Orlando is around 75.
Also, your I sounds. You're kind of doing like I. You are down. If you're in Orlando, you are down south. So there are people that would pronounce it as kind of like 5. But another way of pronouncing that would be 5. Because instead of 5, more 5. Compare 5.
And then
another a common way to link and then is actually kind of just repeat the N sound. Take off the TH and just repeat the N's. Like instead of and then, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. But another way you'll hear that pronounced is like and then.
Yeah, warm weather.
Does that say overall?
Yeah, warm weather. You still can weather. Yeah, warm weather.
Maybe, or just in warm weather. Something there that's not really clear. Whatever that first syllable is, I need something to be slightly firmer.
And then, yeah, warm weather. You still can wear the t-shirts and then go outside. Warm weather. You still can wear the t-shirts.
Maybe at least we can wear t-shirts.
Then, yeah, warm weather. You still can wear the t-shirt.
Weather. Something there is again a little bit unclear. Why is it unclear though?
Yeah, warm weather. You still can wear the
weather. I would suggest holding your vowels longer because right now they're really fast and it's kind of hard for me to separate the words.
Yeah, warm weather. You still can wear the t-shirts and then go outside in the daytime.
Everything from there, that ending part was okay. I could understand everything there.
You still can wear the.
I'm guessing at least we can wear.
Yeah, warm weather. You still can wear the.
At least we can. Yeah, I need the vowel sounds to be a little bit longer because it's hard for me to differentiate the words.
You still can wear the t-shirts and then go outside
Let's hear the ending. Go outside.
You still can wear the t-shirts and then go outside
then go out.
Shirts and then go outside.
Go out. Do you hear that? Go out versus go out. Go. So your placement kind of rises on go out. It's like go out versus go out. Go out. Do you hear that difference there? So just trying to get that placement a little bit lower on the O sound. Okay.
In the daytime, this is a wonderful time.
How about that part?
Outside in the daytime, this is a wonderful time.
This is almost feels like your TH is becoming a D. Like this is versus this is. This is. So you can either have light contact with your top front tooth or your bottom front tooth, and just hold that. Don't press too hard. You want air to constantly be flowing. So like this is. Yeah, people giving other suggestions on what that sound could have been for that one part.
And wear the t-shirts and go outside in the daytime. This is a wonderful time. This is a wonderful.
This is. I also think the short I sound. This is your sound. So the back of your tongue is high. Very front of your tongue is. I mean, the very back of your tongue is down. Excuse me. Back of your tongue is down. Front of your tongue is down. Middle of your tongue's a little high. Sides of your tongue touching your top teeth, like you're biting the sides of your tongue a little bit. No blood. It's gonna more So I'll do like this is this is this is. Just practice that sound a little bit.
Wonderful time.
Also want to hear wonderful.
This is a wonderful time.
Wonderful.
This is a wonderful time.
Wonderful. Something is a little soft.
Daytime. This is a wonderful time.
Wonderful. Can you say like one? I'm guessing it's that N linking with the D. Can you say like un? I would do this progression. It's like schwa sound, un, schwa sound plus N, un. Then I would add a D sound. Und. It's like It's like und, und, und. And then add the It's like un, under, un, und, under, under. And then do that a couple times, like under. Then you can add that wa sound back in. It's like under, wonder. Under. And then you can add the full. Wonderful. Under, wonderful. I would practice that progression a little bit.
Fine.
Okay. Unfortunately, I do have to move on to our next file, but hopefully that is clear and gives you some things to kind of start off with. Thank you so much for sending that file. I do appreciate it. Great to hear from you. Okay. I see 1, 2, 3, 4 files that we're going to try to blitz through super fast. Give me a second just to check some things. In the meantime, guys, just a reminder that, again, some things that are happening in January. First things first, we have Mission English increasing our schedule. So starting January 3rd, January 4th, still determining that. But again, January 3rd, January 4th, we're upping the time. So if you join Mission English, you go to fluentamerican.com/Mission English. You'll be able to join us in our private Facebook group where we do corrections. You join me on screen. So it's like I'm here and you're over there. And we get to work through exercises together. There's people in the group that are in it and they love it. And I think you would enjoy it very much as well. So it'd be great to have you. In addition to that, we also have a group. So Mission English right now is $30 for the month. Maybe that's a bit of a hardship. So in addition to that, we do also have a group on Telegram, where in the Telegram group, basically what we do every single day is I post a challenge group of words, and you can basically reply with your own audio and get feedback. So just to kind of give you an idea of what our Telegram group is like, if that might be an interest, for $5 for the month, you can join. Take a look at what this is like.
Eel, please. I think your O sounds are a little bit tense. I'm getting a lot of O. Take off the T on center.
Okay, so just kind of something to keep in mind. So again, Mission English is a live stream Monday through Friday. The Telegram group is every single day of the week, but just real quick feedback. Okay, so just a note on that. Okay, last couple things. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. I see Raja's posted his name, but I haven't seen a file just yet. Okay. Yeah, Maximiano, we got that. Okay. All right, let me share my screen and let's get back into some things real quick. Sharing screen, sharing audio. First up, timestamp. Where we at?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I might have to come back to that one. Hang on.
Is the next live stream going to be on the new channel?
Okay, good question.
Is the next live stream going to be on the new channel?
Cool, good question. Okay, and again, what she's talking about, again, if you're not aware of it, we are starting Sorry if I urge you guys to take a look at, again, youtube.com/schwamail. Next week or in future live streams are going to be all posted there. On the main channel, I'll probably post highlights, just to note. In addition to that, whoops. Oof. Sorry, guys. Pressed the wrong button. Sorry about that. Let's try doing that again, shall we? Okay, so once more, Schwamel will be posted there. Okay, in a new group. Thanks to Emmanuel for welcoming me back. Appreciate it. Sorry about getting cut out. Okay. But going back to this file.
Is the next live stream going to be on the new channel?
Isn't this live stream going to be on the new channel?
Is the next live stream going to...
Isn't this live stream? Isn't this live stream? You know, so I like the first half.
Is the next live stream going to...
Isn't this live stream? I think you have enough variation to pitch. Like something you may also hear too is a higher pitch on is like, isn't this live stream? Isn't this live stream? Especially if like you're super curious, like, isn't this live stream? Just a note.
Is the next live stream going to be on the new channel?
Going to be on the new channel. I think like on the new channel, I would on the new channel, I would actually kind of treat that as a compound noun and actually stress new on the new channel. Isn't this going to be on the new channel? Okay, so there's something there on stress.
Stream going to be on the new channel. Is the next live stream going to be on the new channel?
It's probably going to be one of my big suggestions there. It's actually shifting the stress onto new. Isn't this live stream going to be on the new channel?
Is the next live stream going to be on the new channel? Is the next live stream going to be on...
Isn't this live stream going to... I would also try to... A very minor thing, but on the pitch there. Like live stream.
Live stream going to...
Live stream gonna... Live stream gonna... So you're kind of at that same pitch level. It's like stream gun. And that can... It can make it a little challenging for your listener when that happens, when two words or two syllables have the same exact pitch. So I would really recommend going slightly lower on the go. On going. Live stream gonna... Live stream gonna... So like just practicing that, just go slightly lower, and that's going to help add some contrast.
Live stream going to be on the new channel.
Going to be on the live stream. Going to be on the live stream. Going to be on the new channel. So that's going to be my big suggestion. There's a bit. So like, isn't this live stream going to be on the new channel?
Is the next live stream going to be on the new channel?
Okay, yes, that'd be my big recommendation here. Beta also asks, you mentioned a Facebook audio. I did not forget. So that was the previous audio we just listened to. I pulled that from Facebook. Thank you for checking. I appreciate that. Trying to make sure we don't forget people. Thank you, Zabeta. You're the best. Zabeta's the best. Next up, Maximiano. What time are we at? We're at 1:18:33. 1:18:33. Okay, 5-second file.
When I'm speaking, my pronunciation might be different than when I'm talking.
Okay. When I'm speaking, my pronunciation might be different than when I'm talking. When I'm speaking, my pronunciation might be different than when I'm talking.
When I'm speaking, my pronunciation might be different than when I'm talking.
Okay. So the very first thing I'm going to say is different. Watch out for that. That tends to be a tricky word to pronounce. 2 syllables in American English usually. Instead different, more different. Short I sound. So it's not deef, it's more diff. Different.
When I'm speaking, my pronunciation might...
Also, the word pronunciation. Ironically, the word pronunciation is very often mispronounced. It's like pronounce, schwa sound. It's like pronounce, like pronunciation. And then that last syllable is a short I. So instead of sheen, it's more shin. Short I, shin. And shin. Pronunciation. Okay, so just watch out for that word as well.
When I'm speaking, my pronunciation might be different.
Pronunciation. I think what's happening is your last syllable, the vowel's a little fast.
Pronunciation
versus pronunciation. My pronunciation.
Speaking, my pronunciation might be different than when I'm talking.
When I'm speaking. When I'm speaking, I think you go even higher on speaking. I would try to expand your pitch range. I would go higher. When I'm speaking, when I'm speaking.
When I'm speaking, my pronunciation might be
because you're kind of all your pitches are kind of in the same like 3 to 4 pitch range. Could we expand it to like 5 or 6 pitches? When I'm speaking,
When I'm speaking, my pronunciation might be different.
My pronunciation might be different. So again, we're always kind of staying in that same pitch level. We're very comfortable there. I would try to expand. When I'm speaking, my pronunciation might be different.
Pronunciation might be different than when I'm talking.
My pronunciation might be different than when I'm talking. You kind of like always getting into that same pattern. Versus
pronunciation might be different than when I'm talking.
My pronunciation might be different than when I'm talking. So I would be focusing on pitches, the word different, the word pronunciation a little bit.
When I'm speaking, my pronunciation might be different than when I'm talking.
I really like how you're saying when I'm talking lots of air coming through. I like that. When I'm speaking, my pronunciation might be a little different than when I'm talking.
When I'm speaking, my pronunciation might be different than when I'm talking.
When I'm speaking, my pronunciation might be different than when I'm talking. When I'm speaking, my pronunciation might be different than when I'm talking. Something like that. Pay attention to my pitches there. Sorry I have to move so fast, but I hope that gives you an idea of how to pronounce those things. Okay. Fortunately, I think we're going to have to stop with our next file.
Hey everyone, it's Jeff.
All my troubles seem so foreign.
Okay, alright.
Well, we have arrived at the moment in the show that everyone has really been waiting for, though they haven't said so directly. I appreciate you guys bearing with me for so long. We have been joined by a very special guest who goes by the name of Caroline. I have no idea who Caroline is. No clue. But we will all learn together. Because that is what we do here at the Schwa Mill, is we are here to learn. I learn just as you do. The only one who doesn't learn is Caroline, who's about to serenade us. However it is. Without further ado, let us partake.
I can't begin to know it, but then I know it's growing strong. Was in the spring, spring became the summer. Who'd have believed you come along? Hands, touching hands.
Oh, sweet Caroline, is that?
Reaching out.
Oh my God.
Touching me, touching you.
I had no idea it was this song.
Feel we sing along even though we're Sweet Caroline. Ba ba ba. Good times never seem so good.
It's a bad night, but so good, so good.
Yes, can decline. Ba ba ba. Still believe they never would. Look at the night. Look at the night. And it don't seem so lonely. Look at the night. We filled it up with only two of us. Just the two of us. I won't hurt you, love. And when I hurt, no, I won't hurt you, love. Hurting runs off my shoulder. No, I won't hurt you, love. How can I hurt when holding you? One, touching one, reaching out, touching me, touching Jeff, aka Fluent American. Sweet Caroline, ba ba ba. Good times never seem so good. I've been inclined, ba ba ba, to believe they never would.
Oh yes, pure heaven.
Ba 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 ba.
Hey Lindsay, great to see you.
Ba 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 ba. Sweet Caroline.
That high pitch.
Yeah, the times never seem so good. I've been inclined to believe they never would. Good job, mother truckers.
Thank you for keeping it clean.
Done. Yeah, well done, guys. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. Well, folks, you know what time it is? It's time to celebrate.
Oh God.
Cheers. Cheers. So, I heard you got a rebound. Is that true? Well, you know.
Well, I don't know what to say after that, so I will say nothing. Thank you guys for joining us for another edition of the Schwa Mill. So again, every single Saturday at this time, we are here to listen to your pronunciation files. Do keep in mind, again, the Schwa Mill, this is our last episode of the Schwa Mill on the channel because we are moving home. If you look up youtube.com/@SchwaMill, you will see our new channel. Don't worry, I will post reminders and things when there are streams. I'll direct people on the main channel as well to check out our streams on the new channel. Okay, I also have to figure out just to make sure we can even do live streams at first on the new channel. Still check. But in the future, Schwa Mill will have its own YouTube channel, its page, and things like that, where we will do these streams and things. On the main channel, we'll also do highlights. That's my goal from the streams. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Earlier, okay. Emmanuel asked, "What's the Schwa Mill schedule for the holiday?" Great question. When is Christmas? Christmas is a Sunday, so my goal is to do it on the 24th, but I don't know the time yet. I will definitely keep everyone posted on that. My goal is to try to keep as regular as possible, but we'll see what happens. Thank you guys for joining me. And again, we can't do streams like this without you. You know, again, it's the fact that, look, there's millions of resources out there for studying English, American English pronunciation. Much larger resources than this small little channel here. But the fact that you tune in with me is greatly, greatly valued and appreciated. It's great to see all of our people here. And if you're a lurker or you're watching this on the replay, it'd be great to see you again in a future episode. Thank you guys so much for everything. I will see you in the future. Happy holiday planning. Everyone stay safe. And I will see you in a future version of the stream. Keep crafting your accent. I'll see you in the next episode of Schwa Mill. Have a good day, good night, good afternoon. Take care. Bye.